Hello, 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 and hello again. I am Indigo Sage and Awakened Soul. I do have a spiritually based website at unapologeticallysage.com. There you can find various topics on my spiritual awakening journey, and that's where we can share our experiences. Again, that is unapologeticallysage.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's get started. All right, welcome to my new series, Tarot Spills the Tea. All right, this is where I use the tarot cards to go ahead and dive right on in to answer our burning questions that we have. Or maybe they're just my burning questions, but either way, you're here, and I'm going to try to get straight to the point. Try not to be lengthy, but I'm going to give it to you as the guides and as spirit gives it to me. Okay? So, for me, the top of my list is Inquiring Minds wants to know, will Luanne ever offer a sincere apology to Ebony? A sincere one. So, we know that she gave one in the last episode. However, it didn't feel sincere to me at all, at all, not a drop of sincerity. And then she turned around and said, I hope you extend the same to me, which lets me know she did not get the I don't want to say she didn't learn the lesson, but for lack of better words, all right, I'm just gonna say that she didn't learn the lesson. There is a lesson to be learned. There is a lot of space for growth for Luanne. And what's crazy is because I was like, rooting for Luanne, not this season, but the season before when she, came back and was just, awesome. Besides, she always gets on my nerves with that cabaret, and now she's sitting here talking about Sonya is jealous of her because of the cabaret. Girl, if you don't have several seats, girl, with this cabaret. I didn't even know she was still doing the cabaret. Who is going to see her cabaret show? Please drop down in the comments and let me know if you are still or if you are just interested in going to see Luann's cabaret show because I just want to know. Anyway, so what I really really want to know, you guys, is will she ever come around to offering a sincere apology? Because I don't know if you guys all know, but they not now. I'm not gonna make that fatal mistake where people just throw the word friend around. I'm not getting ready to do that. But they knew each other and they were cool with each other before the show. So yeah, and to my knowledge, okay, her and Leah knew each other after. I kind of think they were introduced because of the show. I'm not 100% for sure, but I believe Ebony knew Luanne the longest. So, the only two people that she came in being familiar with is Luanne and Leah, and she knew Luanne the longest. But clearly they were not friends, and that is not what I'm saying. So let's just go ahead and sage this out. I am Indigo Sage, and we are going to sage this out right now. Let's get to the bottom of this. So, what we are looking at right now is the past as it relates to this question. Will she ever offer a sincere apology to Ebony? So let me also just say this. Let me just get the legalities out of the way. For this is for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not to be used as facts. You can read it at that red bar on the bottom, and Every time you see that red bar on the bottom, it applies. All right. So, the past, Luannes Feelings, as it relates to this question of will she ever offer a sincere apology? Because, like I said, we already know that she gave one, but it was not sincere. It was full of BS. And I think she only did it because of pressure. And, and I'm going to say we collectively, we have no idea the pressure of, being on television, what that puts on you. Because I know that I've never given into peer pressure and haven't had any peer pressure since, not any serious peer pressure anyway, since high school. And that's been a long time ago. None of y'all business how long. But, um, I'm sure having a camera follow you around for 12 hours a day and then you get blasted on national television, I'm sure there's, major pressure there. And I feel like that's where that first apology came from. And yes, that's my, what I call, opinion. So, what I wanted to know is will there ever be a sincere apology? So, we are staging this out. The past card that came up as it relates to this question is 10 of chalices. This deck is Barbara Moore. You can find out more information in the drop box below. It mimics the traditional Rider-Waite, but it's not. Okay? So, 10 of chalices can be compared to 10 of cups, and whereas they both represent happy family, happy life, marriage, harmony, just a great life. All right. So, you look at it and it's like, how does that relate to will she sincerely apologize to Ebony? And you know what? Let me go ahead and break down what the apology is needed for, because in this last episode I saw some people at the table nodding their head like they didn't feel like she even owed her any apology, and I was like, ooh, wait, okay, she owes her an apology for calling her aggressive. They didn't even get into, I wouldn't even call it an argument. Ebony passionately stated how she felt and how she felt about, using those certain words of, people's private parts and stuff, which originally started with Leah using the private part words and Ramona, objecting to it as she always does. Now, let me insert this, you guys. Seriously, if it was me and if I was Leah, I just wouldn't do it. I would just respect folks. And because there's obviously a huge age difference with, and let me just say this, I'm more towards Leah's age, okay, not Ramona's. But my point in saying that is that I respect my elders. That is just how I was raised. I respect my elders. Excuse me, let me add, as long as they respect me, okay? So let me just throw that in there. As long as they respect me, just mutual respect. It's just about mutual respect. So anyway, it wouldn't be a big deal for me to refrain from saying that. Like, I would not feel like every time we all sat down as a group at a table, I have to say, those words. I don't even know how they keep coming up. It's just really weird to me because I've watched this show for a few years now, and I'm not going to say they never did. So for all of you, word police officers or whatever, just waiting to get me, jump on me or whatever, to tell me and cite whatever episode Bethany brought it up or something like that. Hold your keyboard. Don't do that. What I'm saying is this is the most I have ever seen the private parts being brought up every time they sit down at the table, and it's ridiculous. And if it was me, I would just respect the wishes and just keep it pushing because I just respect my elders, period. Homegirls, me and my real friends, and yeah, I say real friends because Ramona and Leah, obviously they're not real friends. We say stuff, all right, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So this apology comes in because after Leah cussed them all out, and right before she stormed out, she called them all hoes. And I'm going to be honest, she said hoes. She said hoe 4 times, and it was 5 of them. So I didn't even think she was calling Ebony a hoe. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think she was included Ebony, but on Watch What Happens Live, Ebony said something about she apologized to her for including her, but and then I saw Heather in an interview or something like that later and said, well, she wasn't talking to me. And honestly, I'm not a fan of hers, but that's how I felt. I was like, she wasn't talking to me. So, I mean, anyway, moving right along. So, um, Ebony was just saying something about, I think she was just trying to be like the peacemaker. Okay, let's just say that. Because I don't remember her exact words, but what I do remember is Luanne, she did bring up religion, and Ebony was saying it doesn't have to do with religion, and then Luanne backpedaled, and popped, and said, shout outs to Funko Dineva, I'm not getting ready to say what he always say, but backpedaled and popped, and said, I didn't say education. And yes, she did. And of course, we got the good editing, good producers of Bravo who rolled back that beautiful bean footage and showed that she did say that. So that's a problem right there. That's the start of gaslighting. When you say or do something and then a person responds to it or calls you out on it, and then you want to convince them that that's not true when it is true. That's gaslighting, and that's a problem, Luanne. All right. So anyway, moving right along. So I knew it was gonna go downhill from there, because you can't have a constructive conversation with anyone who's denying what they said or did. It's just, you can't. It's impossible. You can't have a constructive conversation with anyone who's denying and lying the reason why you're sitting up there, talking about whatever it is you're talking about. You're not going to go anywhere. Me personally, I don't waste my time. I don't put energy into that. And I usually end it. I'm like, nope, can't do this. And I let them know why. Like, we're not going to go. Everything I just now said, I'd be like, we're not going to go anywhere because you're lying and denying. So, bye-bye. Okay. So that caused Ebony to have a reaction. And I do believe in responding and not having a reaction, but she had a reaction, and it's okay. But then, well, actually, she didn't immediately have a reaction. She just stated, well, if we're talking about education, I use those words and I have the most education out of everyone sitting at this table, or everyone here. So Luanne, with her big old head, figuratively and literally, decided that she was going to hear that wrong and said, you're trying to call me stupid? She jumped all to that kind of dumb stuff, which is not what Ebony said at all. That's not what Ebony's point was. Ebony's point was just that if you're bringing up education, I have the most education. And I'm going to add this. She has the most formal education of any of them there. And then, you got Ramona chiming in talking about, how do you know? Did you look us up? And Ebony said, I sure did. Okay, come through with the receipts, Ebony. Okay, you're dealing with a very educated attorney. No matter what race they are, you're dealing with an attorney. Okay, that's what attorneys do. They know what they're talking about, if they're any good. All right, moving along. So, and then Ramona gave her a high five. Okay, I thought that was so cute. Now, and that probably, to be honest, made Miss De La Sips upset. But it gets to where she's telling her, you're not going to call me stupid in my own home. You're not going to call me stupid in my own home. And so they go back and forth, Ebony and Luanne. And Ebony is steady trying to tell her, that's not what I said. And Luanne's defense is she's intelligent because she's traveled. She's well traveled and speaks 3 languages, and so she's intelligent, and you're not going to call me stupid in my own home. And it was just a bunch about in her own home. And if you guys watched the episode, her daughter was there, her daughter's friend was there, a naked man for the pictures, which was her daughter's friend or something like that was there. So it was in her home with her family. And so um here we are. No surprise why the family card kind of came up. This is like a happy family. The 10 of chalices, the 10 of cups. It's like happy family, okay? Now, let me go back to the episode, the apology part. So I can't remember which lady it was. I know Sonia really wanted them to. Heather really wanted, Sonia and Heather really wanted Luanne to see why Ebony was so upset because Leah just cussed them all out, up, down, left, and right, cat corner, into all the points. No one said a word about her being aggressive and feeling attacked. And yes, later Luanne, either she says it or she implies that she felt attacked because Ebony stood up and was aggressive and over her. Okay. Whew. Let me take a breath. So Ebony just states how she feels in a passionate way. Voice is raised, and all of a sudden she's aggressive and Luanne is afraid. First of all, nobody can convince me that Luanne was afraid. When she stands up, please, she towers over all of them. Stop playing, Luanne. Stop playing. You ain't afraid. All right? You are not afraid. Knock it off. Um, don't be a Karen. Which I don't believe that she is. However, this episode made me look at her differently, and that is my opinion. My opinion is not alleged, but just a little reminder. Look at the little red bar at the bottom. So back to this reading. Just had to give a little recap just to catch everyone up. Now, the family. This is a family card. This is relating to the decision of whether or not Luanne's ever going to give Ebony the sincere apology that she deserves. So in the back of her mind, the past, it has to do with family. Now let me tell you something. This card came up in reverse. You heard me correctly. Now, I will try my best to always show you guys the card up right first so you can take a good gander, and then we'll go reverse. All right. So, the past is represented by the reversed 10 of chalices, which says straight up she neglected her family while pursuing material goals. Bam. Bam. Boom, bam. There it is. All right. So connecting that with being in front of her daughter, being at her home, that's why she was on. Because you know what? When I saw her acting like that, I was like, she doesn't normally act like this. I'm like, where is this coming from? This like already inherent hostility. Like, it was weird because she was acting different. I could already see that. And I didn't know where or why. It was like a, oh my gosh, I don't know the right word because I wanted to say uppity, but she's always been uppity. Because, you know, she wanted to, oh, I was going to say she wanted them to call her queen, not queen, but whatever it was, madam. Not madam. Who was she? Sire, not sire, that's a man. Anyway, her voice sounded like a man sometime. Okay, but whatever she was, not a queen, but oh my gosh, you guys know. If you guys watch the show, you know. You can put it in the comments because I can't remember right now. It's on the edge of my tongue. All right. Anyway, so she's always been uppity, so that wasn't it. But I could see there was an extra layer of something, which was just more than I'm not staying in that lower room. Um, it was something extra. And I know it's her house, but I mean, we've all had company over at our home, and we don't take on an extra layer of haughtiness or whatever, and not HOT, but HAUT. Anyway, the point is that she was doing the most, and I didn't understand. Like, she came out the gates already before they had gotten into it. It was just the energy. Her energy was just not right. It was extra, and so and it was very, very evident when she took what Ebony said. First of all, when she lied and said I didn't say education, and then when she took it and said you're not gonna come in my house and call me dumb. That they are good for a laugh. Nobody said that. But here's what was playing in the back of her mind, that she neglected her family while pursuing material goals. She knows that she did that. See, I didn't know that she did that. Now, I had heard that her children, a few episodes back, her children were suing her for some money because they said that she took money from them. And following that, she was saying she trying to get in good with her kids, and that's sad. That's unfortunate. Let me put it like that. Um, so, boom, she neglected her family while pursuing material goals. Allegedly, you see that bar at the bottom. And so that's already got her in her mind all worked up. And so here comes this, and I'm going to say it how I want to. Here comes this black woman in her mind trying to say, you're dumb, you know. And so she's like, not in my house, in front of my kids. And there come the monster Luanne. That's how I want to say it. That's what I said. I said what I said. And so what we have here is that she feels heavy, unseen, unspoken guilt, and she can't see past that in order to see Ebony's point of view. This card in reverse, what it says is that you're presenting a false face of domestic happiness to the world. And it's so funny that it happens to say the world because, as I said before, she's on national television. So let's just keep it pushing. So this is already just in her head. You know what I'm saying? And this is what was already in her mind that has to do with the apology decision. Let me say this, you guys. I always get a little kiki somewhere when I do these readings. Even though this is only my second one that I'm getting ready to publish, I've got 7 of them already. So just stay tuned. But I get a kiki somewhere in all of them. This was my kiki. Look at this. So in the present position is 3 of Swords. Okay. So presently, right now, like, when it comes to apologizing to Ebony, this is how she's feeling. Look at this picture. Okay, look at this person looking like they are just really stressed out. Like it's just really stressed them out and taking a toll on them. Look at the little fairies at the very top of their head. Like, they all laid out like they taking a nap. They just exhausted. She got a paper crumpled up. I don't know if she at work. I don't know if she writing a letter to somebody. I don't know if she want to quit. It just seems very stressful. There's an envelope there. Like, is that a bill that she can't pay? I don't know. She could be at home. Could be, an eviction notice. I don't know if they mail them to you. Thank God I never had one. I don't know how that happened. But this person looks sad. They look stressed. Just very stressed. All right. So, and this is in the present position. Now, this is Luannes Feelings, allegedly, pertaining to giving a sincere apology. Now, raise your hand if you thought that would ever be so hard and so stressful to give a sincere apology. This is why I kiki. I'm about to make myself cough. Excuse me. This is why I kiki. to give a sincere apology is it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that stressful. But it is for Madam Luanne or whatever. I cannot remember her name. Is it Madam? It's something. Why I keep wanting to say sire? And sire is for men's. All right. Now this was in reverse. So let's break this down in reverse as it. But you guys had to see this. Look at this picture. You really that stressed over whether or not to give a sincere apology? Is it that hard for you, girl, woman, lady, sire? This one is pretty straightforward. Reversed Three of Swords. That stressed young lady is allowing emotions to make a situation worse than what it is. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. I mean, yeah, I venture to say that's pretty obvious to us. It also means recovering from a heartbreak that represents the end of a relationship. This relationship is the friendship that they had, or familiarship, and that's from them having a small bond. And I'm not even going to say a bond because I don't want to use that word, because even when she first came on the show, they just were kind of like, hi, yeah, hi, and she called her Lou, and she's like, yeah, but it really wasn't. I didn't see a connection. I didn't see any kind of I've been knowing you connection. And it was almost like, well, no, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to compare two other women who knew each other, but no, it wasn't like that, because Ebony is not like, anyway. But they didn't seem to, it was just, they were cordial. And for me, if I hadn't known that they like previously knew each other, it really didn't stick out. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, this seems dramatic to me. With presently, you're acting like, um, oh my gosh, this is the end. But what I really think is that it's more so of the. It's not like they have a heartbreak, okay? That's not what it is. I believe that they're allowing the emotions of the how dare you emotions, and the how dare you is not heartbreak. Um, but still, one card can represent a facet of things. It's just it can start there, and then there's lots of different possibilities. This The only heartbreak is that it was on TV, okay? Um, but this is not a heartbreak, so it's not like they were best friends. I think if she feels bad at all, she feels bad that it was on TV, on television. She might feel bad that race was brought into it, because see, that's my question. Does she really? And this is why I had to break this down. Does she know that how it has to do with race, even though Ebony broke it down like more than once, and even though Sonya tried to break it down, and everybody tried to break it down, and and if we go into reality real time, I'm sure other people try to break it down. So I just wanted to know. So anyway, she's presently, allowing emotions to make a situation worse than what it has to be. Luanne seems to be that type of person of she's sticking to it. What do they say? Dig their toes into the sand. Oh my gosh, I hate trying to quote quotes that I heard before, because it's 50-50. Sometimes I get them right, sometimes I get them wrong. But she's gonna dig her heels in, or her toes in. Something. She's standing by it. Like Nene said, I said what I said. That's she's she feels like she gave that one apology, And so, but let's see if she's going to come around. All right. So let's keep on staging this out. The next card position is the best to come out of the situation. If you look at this picture, you know I had another Kiki because it's so much I want to say, so much I want to unpack, but I'm trying to not have my video longer than an hour. All right. Um, this young lady looks like she is just about to pass out. She don't look that far off from the other young lady who was just so stressed out. These are the emotion of Luanne contemplating on giving a sincere apology, like, because you know you got to put energy into trying to understand someone else's point of view. So really, like, it's like, is she willing to do that? Because when you're wrong, and yes, she was wrong, Luanne was wrong. Um, the only way that you're gonna sincerely be apologetic is to put effort into seeing the other person's point of view. If you're that type of person, like I can see instantly when I'm wrong. Well, like almost immediately after, because I was gonna say if it was instant, then I wouldn't do it. But like almost immediately after, I can like see, and I'm like, oh, you know. But someone like Luanne, I don't know how long it would take someone like Luanne, which is why this is the question. And so of the the best outcome as it relates to this decision and her energy is growth from recognizing someone else's point of view. I'm asking you guys, do you guys honestly think that Luanne can do that? That would be the best outcome of this. You know what I'm saying? Because she would grow from that. But okay, so this card came up because she doesn't know how to solve this problem. She doesn't know how to diffuse this situation that she sees as a negative situation. And we all can probably agree with that. Now, what she would have to do is admit. She'd have to admit that she doesn't know how to solve the problem and does not know how to diffuse this negative situation. She'd have to admit that. Only then would she be able to learn and grow. She'd have to know it's okay to say, I don't know what to do right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she said anything about I don't know what to do right now. And if she said it, I'm not sure she actually meant it because her energy was pretty solid. And if she did say it, she erased all of that when she told Ebony to apologize to her. Give me that same courtesy and apologize to me. What would Ebony have to apologize to her for? Exactly. For having her own opinion? But again, Lou goes back. I'm saying Lou like I know her. Luanne goes back to it being in her home, which goes back to that past card of that family, which is goes back to her guilt of going after the materialistic, desires over her family. And so she's gonna be, that's why that home thing and her child was there with her childhood friends, and I'm sure the friend and the friend's friend feels like family, so it's like you're in my home with my family, and she already felt that guilt, so it's like, oh my god, like all of that is making Luanne stick to the you disrespected me. However, why didn't she come with that same energy when Leah spewed out all of that, you a hoe, ho, 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 like she was Santa Claus? As if she was Santa Claus saying ho, ho, ho to everybody. What was that? That was okay. Luanne, Miss De La Seps, Sire, whatever your name is, Sire. I know you ain't no Sire, Esquire, Sire, whoever you is. That was disrespectful in your own head. Like someone stood up in your face over you saying you were a hoe. A ho ho. Ho 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 ho. Like it was Christmas. And that was okay? Girl, okay. So you ain't scared of Leah, but okay. Anyway, So take a look at the picture. And I just feel the dramatics of it all. That's what I get out of this picture, which is why I had another key when I saw it. But the best of this would be growth from recognizing someone else's point of view. And let's move on to see the next position is the worst. The worst of it is simply put as it is what it is. Okay? As it pertains to this decision, the worst of it is that she's going to double down on that unapologetic energy that she has because, to be honest, I don't feel like her apology was sincere at all, which is why I wanted to know, would she give one? A sincere one? Would she ever come around, because they still got reunion and all this. And we still got a few episodes, and sometimes, these reality shows, quote unquote, they surprise us, but I just had to know now, which is how all my questions are based, okay? So buckle up you guys' seatbelts because I have more videos to come on just pressing questions that I got to know now. Will she ever give her a sincere apology? And if not, why? If so, why? What changed? Gotta know. The worst of it is what it is. Her feeling like this TV apology, the surface apology was good enough, and that she would double down on it, and and that she releases it. Releasing unpleasant and unfortunate circumstances, and not just releasing unpleasant and unfortunate circumstances, but also accepting them. Okay? Which brings us back to that in the present time, the Three of Swords reversed was saying that this person is recovering from the end of a relationship. That relationship is a friendship. So that also is the accepting it, that it's the end. That thing said the end. Okay, so let's move on. All right, so in the what's to come, as it relates to this decision, will Luanne offer a sincere apology to Ebony? What's to come of it? The card was the moon. The moon card. It, well, look at the image. It has this young lady hypnotized. Her eyes are closed, and it seems as though she's blindly guided by or headed towards, going in that direction of the moon. The moon, in general, is emotions, our emotional house, our emotional place, the emotions, where the emotions are stored. Um, and it was in reverse. So let's go ahead and break that down and sage that out for what's to come. So, what's to come? Reversed moon card. One of the things that stood out to me the most was purposefully deceived. And when I felt that, saw that, read that, I said, oh, the reunion, Andy gonna get her. Andy might stick it to her. Because, well, purposefully deceived on the Real Housewives of any franchise when are they purposefully deceived the most? I feel like it's when they get to that reunion. And of course, you know, we know that this is going to come up in the reunion. So I was like, wow, you're going to get done in at that reunion. And this is just me. This is just what I feel. It's based on the cards, based on the cards. And because this is what's to come as it relates to this decision of whether or not to offer her a sincere apology, which she has not done as of yet. Okay. And you okay, so if you guys follow them at all, and if you have not been following Andy and the Real Housewives franchise, Andy has been under some pressure this last past year of racial ooh, Lord, what was I getting ready to say? Accusations is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what was getting ready to come out my mouth. I'm tired. I told you guys I have 6 more to go, um but yeah, so with that pressure, you know he's gonna bring this up. He's gonna talk about it. And for Miss De La Simps, the what's to come of this decision of whether or not she's gonna offer a sincere apology to Ebony for her foolishness is purposefully deceived. That doesn't sound good for anything. Like, I don't care what question it is. Purposefully deceived don't sound good for anything, anybody, in any position at any time. And let me just touch on some other things. It says that negative energies are at work, and secrets will not be secrets much longer. That's interesting. And then I teeter-tottered on whether or not to say this, but I'm going to, because all of this is allegedly, as you can read that red bar on the bottom. But personal darkness and inner fears. So, and I'm sure we all have a little bit of that. I don't know. I'm just saying, everybody has some fears and stuff, all that personal darkness. I don't know exactly what that would be, but, whatever. Um, but I feel like for Miss De La Simps, it refers back to that family card where she feels guilt with putting the material needs or whatever, her material needs in front of her family. And it's that feeling of that, how dare you? And then that fear, oh yeah, the personal darkness, her kids sued her. They did. They did do that. Y'all can look it up, Google it. They did do that. I forgot what it was. I know it was over some money that they felt like she took and it belonged to them. And so there are, oh snap. Okay, yeah, over her material needs. All right. It makes sense. That's her guilt. She took their money for her material needs, neglected them or whatever. So it just, wasn't nobody gonna show her up in her house. But here's the thing. Here's the problem, you guys. She didn't have that same energy with Leah when Leah cussed her out in her house, disrespected her, calling all kinds of, private part names, and called her a hoe right to her face. And she said nothing. Nothing. And all Ebony said was, I have more education than everyone sitting here at the table. And then she's like, you're aggressive. And you're this and you're that. And you need to leave my house. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone who's been waiting for me to say this part. She kicked her out of her house. And it was because she stated a fact that she has more education than everyone sitting at the table. But yet Leah can cuss you out and call you a hoe and all kind of stuff, and you don't say nothing. Like, what the, come on. And you don't see a problem with that. And the thing about it is, what pissed me off with Luanne is like, Luanne, now come on now. Last season, I thought I saw your common sense and stuff showing through, shining through. You know that song, I see your true colors coming through? I thought I saw common sense coming through, and I was just happy about that. But now I'm like, wow, where did they go? You left them at the door when you entered your home, because it was different when you entered your home. When she entered her home, she was the queen, king, sire, everybody of that home. And it was just, she just was a different person. The time was different. Like, be like, oh, you know what time it is? That's the attitude she took on. You know what time it is? And the part that I have a disconnect with, where I don't understand the time that it was, it's different if she acted the same with Leah. Because Leah cussed you out in your home just like 5 minutes before Ebony just stated the statement that she didn't like. Ebony didn't even cuss her out. So see, that's the problem. And you kick her out. Like, that's the problem I have. 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 Right there. The person who should have got it the most is Leah. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was so close to you, she probably got some spittle on you. Or what do they call it now with the COVID specs? What do they call that? Droplets. Droplets. I'm sure Luanne got some Leah droplets as she rained down droplets of hoe on her. Said nothing. And then they had the nerve to say, well, her grandmother's dying. I'm taking a pause and taking a deep breath because I know darn well that they already knew when those words left their lips that Ebony's grandmother is dying as well. And actually, I don't even like to say dying. I say transition, honey. Transitioning. The point is, why? Okay, so if anybody can answer this, drop it down in the comments. Why was Leah given grace and Ebony wasn't? Okay? Now, what I'm going to say is, Ebony didn't do anything wrong, so she didn't need any grace. That's how I personally feel. However, for anyone who believes that she did do wrong, okay? Because I'm an equal opportunity up around here, unless you a troll. Trolls gotta kick rocks, and I'll help you. Watch me. But if you feel like they both were wrong, Leah and, because I only want to talk to reasonable people, so you know, at some level, if you feel like Ebony was wrong, then you've got to also feel like Leah was wrong as well. So tell me the difference. Why was Leah given grace and Ebony wasn't? Drop down in the comments. Let me know. And everybody else, drop down in the comments and let me know what's up. Now, bonus, which actually I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. The first time I did the All About the Tea read, it was a bonus because I normally don't do the energy read, but we're going to do that. I'm going to make that a staple of this read because we've got to see the energy behind all of this. So let's go stage that out. Okay. So, when I saw this one, I did not, Kiki. This is the energy influence behind the previous cards of, her decision, which I'm going to go ahead and call it. She's not going to offer her a sincere apology. I was hoping that she would. I was hoping to see some kind of light. But this energy, I'm telling you, the energy card will get you every time. The energy card will read you down, honey. She thinks she's the teacher. The energy influence, which is the energy snapshot, as it relates to this decision. And it's I do not like when this song come on in the background because someone's talking and it sounds like I'm in a coffee shop and someone's next to me talking loud. All right. So, energy influence, the energy snapshot is the Hierophant, the teacher, Luanne, feels like she's the teacher of the group. And it's funny because when this came up, I could recall those vibes, you know, from thinking about some previous seasons, you know, especially after she, man, I'm not, see, let me stop laughing. Especially when she had that experience with the law and she was required to do certain things. Y'all can't tell me she didn't come back and gave you teacher vibes. Teacher vibes. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, but this allows us to see a little more deeply into her, you know, psyche and reasoning behind her actions. So she feels like she's the teacher of the group. She has experiences to share, which is what she was talking about too. It's about experiences. Um, and she has experiences. We've seen some of them. She's the teacher of the group. So if you feel like you're the teacher, then all right, how dare someone come into your classroom, I guess, you know, let's put it like that. Come into your classroom and try to teach and tell you you're not smart enough to teach this class. I'm coming into this classroom and I'm taking over today. Sit yourself down. That is what she's reacting to. Even though we know that's not what happened, we have to understand the behind the scenes in somebody's mind, what goes on, their thought process, and then why what came out came out. So the cards say, and the cards are never wrong, not my cards. Anyway, that she feels like the teacher. Okay, that's why she reacted that way. It's her classroom. She's a teacher. And she feels like somebody came in her classroom and said, you are not smart enough to teach this class. Take several seats and let me take over. And so she can't see past that. That's why it took her so long. She's like, what do I have to apologize for? And so when we look at it like that, I'm going to say this, and I'm getting ready to wrap it up. But when we look at it like that, we may need to take race out of it. Okay? Because I don't honestly feel like Luanne is a racist. I don't. I don't feel like she's a racist. I don't. I didn't know what her problem was. I could see she had a problem. She had issues. And I just kept, and I could see they weren't treated equally. Let me put it like that. I could see clearly they were not treated equally. And I could see clearly one is Caucasian toned and one is of African American toned. I don't know what they, DNA say, so, I ain't, but, and I can see they were treated differently. One was given a pass and one wasn't. So, you know what I'm saying? So we can see that as an audience, as a spectator, like we can see that clearly. But I'm like, what the hell is going on? When did you become, what's going on, Lou? And of course, I was like, okay, she keeps saying in my house. Honey, like I said, it says the teacher. Her energy behind all of this is she's the teacher. So let's take out my house. This is her classroom. Just picture it like that. And then it kind of falls into place. Leah didn't challenge her Luanne's teacherness in her classroom. Leah is just if Luanne sees them as students and that's her classroom, Leah is just the one you just kind of send to the principal's office or whatever, or actually, no. The angels are saying, no. You send her to the counselor. and say like, oh, she got emotional problems. Bam, that's what they said. Not the principal, but the counselor. Emotional problems. Her grandmother just passed. She'd send her to the counselor. She get a pass to the counselor's office. Whereas she feels like Ebony is the quote unquote student, allegedly. Look at that red bar at the bottom. And she stands up and says, look, you've lost control of the class. I'm going to teach it now. And that's where the how dare you comes in at. Got it? All right. So that's just a different way to look at it. This is what the cards say, you guys. All right. Let's continue and wrap it up. Right here, right here is where I offer Luanne a free magnet. Actually, just kidding. They're only $4, and that includes shipping and handling and taxes and everything. And excuse me, they are measurement of 5x4. I'm saying they because it's 5 different styles of magnets. You can find them on my website at unapologeticallysage.com. Click on the Unsay Merch tab. This one is one of my favorites. These are all my photography, and this one says, make this a butterfly week. Be the catalyst for transformation in your life so that you reflect your beliefs. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful. And whatever screen you're looking at, it doesn't give it justice. When you actually see it, it's like it vibrates right off of the magnet. And again, it's a very good size, 5x4 inches for only $4. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you guys something. You know exactly what to do if you liked what you heard. Go ahead and click like and subscribe. And I promise I am going to keep on asking these questions and breaking down this, what is behind the celebrities and others that are not so celebrity, because the avatar is not a celebrity in my mind, but I wanted to know about the new panel. Okay. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the previous video. But I have lots of questions behind lots of things, and I'm going to end on this note because Spirit suggested to me to do one on Jen Shah, which I was resistant because I don't know her. I don't know that lady. And not that I know any of them personally, of course, but I just know, like, there was trouble. I don't watch that show. But so I don't know if you guys want to hear a breakdown on her. Drop down in the comments. But I don't watch the show, and I know I still can do it without watching it. It's just that I have more passion behind the shows that I actually watch. Okay, but yeah, she's on the list. All right, you guys have a wonderful week, and please remain to be safe. And wash your hands. Wash your hands. Even those of you who've gotten, you know, um, I don't know what words we can and cannot say on here, but still wash your hands, please. Because even though you may feel like you're safe, everybody else around you may not be. So just wash your hands. Like, that's the main important thing. And now I'm going to click off